Cheeky Prince Louis steals the heart of the internet again.
And Meghan Markle's former bestie might have a book in the works. Should Meghan be nervous? Hello and welcome to Heirs Spares, your go-to for insight and opinion on two of the most talked about royal couples from both sides of the Atlantic. I'm Kinsey Schofield, and I'll be bringing you updates on Prince Harry and Meghan Markle from sunny California.
And I'm Rupert Bell. I'm not in the UK. I'm in New York. I'm actually near, where am I near? Aqueduct Racetrack is where I'm staying for the week covering the Ryder Cup. But I've got my finger on the pulse on what's going on back home with the Prince and Princess of Wales.
Amazing. Well, one thing that I thought was so cute from the state visit of Donald Trump was the engagement that Catherine, the Princess of Wales, did with First Lady Melania Trump with the Scouts. And they gave out these cute little badges, and all these kids were lined up to collect their badges. It was just like the palace was so brilliant and visualizing that and then executing it so perfectly, while chatting with Chief Scout Dwayne Fields during the event at Frogmore Gardens. The Princess of Wales said that Prince Louis is collecting conkers. I need you. She said, we keep finding conkers in cupboards, in his bed, conkers everywhere. You're going to have to explain to me what this is and why he would be doing this.
Right. Well, it's an autumn thing from a chestnut tree, conkers, right, coming down. And it is part of a bit of a tradition. And I'm fully aware of this tradition because when I was young, I did exactly the same. Because you go and collect a conker and then you play a form of game. Because what you do, and we'd go around at school where I was at, go around, collect conkers. And it's quite an art form because then you want to find a conker and you then skewer it, put a string on it, and then you play a game of basically who's got the strongest conker and you hit it onto you've got one with a string in it, and then basically and then you add up, and if every time you win you get a point. So or and then if you beat someone who's beaten him already won 10, you then get 10 points. So the big thing was to have a high scoring conqueror. Now I'm telling a tale, this has got nothing to do with the royal family, but when I was at school we had a thing
Well,
called an
technically, you
abacus.
were at school with a member of the royal family, so
Well, plenty of them actually, not just one. There was about 4 or 5 of them. Anyway, so I hope I haven't played Conkers with Prince Andrew, but anyway, that's another story.
maybe you should
But
have. Maybe you might have
well,
fixed something if he took a hit or two over the head with a conker.
yeah, well, I think we'll move on quickly on there. But anyway, what I did, and stupidly, we used to have it wouldn't have got past health and safety now, but we had an abacus, but it was made of nails. And an abacus is an old Greek counting device that you basically, that's how they used to count. It was a sort of Greek calculator. But I was
Yeah, yeah. I
skewering
actually do know what you're
my,
talking about. Yeah.
and I was skewering my conker. This, it's not a euphemism. And I was skewering my conker, and then the nail went through my hand. And then I walked upstairs to the school matron, knocked on the door, and proceeded to pass out.
Oh my
Having
God.
so conkers are a painful memory of my childhood, but I don't. I'm sure Prince Louis has not got an abacus to skewer his conker, and but back in the day, health and safety wasn't a thing. So that's what happened to me as a child, and conkers. So when you sent the script and the conkers, I thought I'm on good ground here. I know something I'm talking about. But Prince Louis, it's a very much a childhood thing, and given that they presume that, well, they're living in Windsor Great Park, there will be conkers just everywhere because
That
all
is
the
so
trees
sweet.
there, they fall to the ground, you collect them, and then what you can do, if, to really, if you want a good conker, I just feel very weird saying this, if you just want a good conker, you put it in vinegar to harden it up,
Oh
and
my
then you leave it.
gosh.
No, it can get quite serious, and there are things like conker championships in this country. You can Google it. So Google Conquer Championships.
Well,
It's a
I might. Well, will I see Prince Louis in one day? Is this something he's going to seriously pursue? It was
no,
sweet.
no, 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 no. I think it's probably just a childhood thing, and he's
Yeah.
probably gathering them up. And it's quite sweet. 7-year-old children. When I was skewering my hand with a conker, I was probably 10.
Mm. Yeah. I
You know,
think
it's
it
just,
I think it gives us a little well, it gives us comfort in knowing that the Princess of Wales, when she talks so much about how the outdoors are important to her and her family, you hear little tidbits like this and it gives you confidence and like the sincerity behind that. And there's no reason why we shouldn't feel like um, those stories are insincere, but you know, compared to
uh,
what we get over here on the west coast of sunny California, Harry and Meghan pretending that they do all of these things that you're like, do you really? Harry's the
yeah,
stud surfer. He's at a kid's surfing school, okay, guys.
yeah.
But so it was interesting that Chief Scout Dwayne Fields shared this story and felt comfortable sharing that story. But one line that Fields said that I thought was really sweet was, "It's clear that as a mom, that something that's very special to her." So I love I love hearing stories about somebody that's actually engaged with her and she's talking about motherhood and she's kind of glowing about motherhood. You could just get the sense that she really does love that job.
Well, no, no, we know that's her big thing, and we know that, but it just reflects that by telling that story, that they're trying to make sure that, given their slightly gilded lifestyle they have, well, slightly gilded lifestyle they have, that they are trying to present a picture of normality. And children going out collecting conkers, not everyone can do it, and if you, not everyone lives in Windsor Great Park, that they can go and pick up the conkers, but it does show that that is part of what they like to do as a family. Maybe George and Charlotte are no longer in the conquer gathering age, but Prince Louis still very much is.
I would love to know if Prince George collects Pokemon cards. Maybe not a Conquer collector, but are Pokemon cards
Uh,
uh,
Now
in the.
you've lost me. What the heck are Pokemon cards?
They're just like a cute little game from another country where you collect the cards. Your card can beat another card. It's like so dumb that I even said it
Okay.
out loud. Let's talk
Okay.
about Prince William's reaction that's gone viral on the internet. The headline from Marie Claire is Prince William's reaction to an awkward moment with Prince Andrew went viral. Kaylee Roberts writes, if the pointed non-reaction is considered an art, Prince William has officially perfected it. For proof of this objective fact of the world we live in, look no further than the clip of William and his disgraced uncle Prince Andrew at the Duchess of Kent's funeral that went viral this week. It's an awkward moment, right, Rupert? Because they're at a funeral. First of all, it's kind of odd to see Prince Andrew back in the flow. However, it's a private family moment. So we have to acknowledge that he's allowed to be there for private family moments. But Prince Andrew almost gets closer to Prince William and tries to make a joke, laughs at his own joke, and Prince William completely rejects him. Like the energy is just kind of like, please stop talking to me.
Well, I'm afraid, and the headlines since that photograph haven't got any better for Andrew and his ex-wife. I mean, it's really taken off in a manner that for the Duchess of York has gone absolutely pear-shaped. You know, now no longer, you know, charities that she's patrons of have distanced themselves from her. And actually, what I find, even when he goes to that funeral, he's still looking around there as if he's the cat that's got the cream. You know, and I can see why William feels that this is not good for the PR. He knows the problem it's causing the family, the royal family. You know, and now the revelations have just gone to another level, where you've got the Duchess of York then saying, "My supreme friend,"
Ugh.
and you go, and so
and
William,
and admitting that the only reason she tried to distance herself from Epstein in the first place was because she was afraid she was going to lose her children's book
uh,
deal. I mean, oh, that's so foul to think uh, that she would put that in writing.
well, and this is the point. And obviously, we've seen quite a lot of it over here. I don't know whether you're getting the headlines in, you know, but we've lost our British ambassador to the United States because he referred to Epstein as his best pal. And now you get a week later, you get this coming out from, and no wonder William is standing there And you just thought, right, go to the Duchess of Kent's funeral and just be right in the background. And okay, and he turns up with his ex-wife in the car.
Right.
No, but now they're going to spend a lot of time together, and it's going to just, it's a real problem for the king. And how does Prince William deal with it? Because he knows that his uncle has been an absolute idiot over the years and has made it very hard for the family. He's ensconced in Royal Lodge. And, I think we've seen him today. All he does now is drive around in his Range Rover and ride a horse for a bit. What else is he? I don't know what if he's doing anything else. But this is for Sarah, the Duchess of York. She's brought about this herself, and unfortunately, their relationship with Epstein has come home to roost. And Prince William is fully aware that this is not what we need as a royal family, to have members of it being dragged through the gutter because of their own doing. Both of them saying at various stages we shouldn't have been friends with him, but then they've carried on.
Right.
It beggars belief. Okay, and she said she was being threatened. Felt she needed to sort of wreck the strain.
But
Said
if you
she
are
did it as
repeatedly being threatened and Epstein is no longer with us,
you.
where's the proof? I mean, I would take that justification far more seriously if I saw the emails or the outrage threatening her. To just kind of say, well, she was scared because he was threatening her. If we can find emails that old, girl, so can you. Do you know what I mean? Like, so can you. I just talked to Matt Wilkinson from The Sun about this, and he said that so his argument is like, what else can they do? And I think that's a really great point. Like, we keep saying, gosh, you're such an embarrassment, but what is the solution? Is it just that is it that Prince Andrew and Fergie move off to another country? Steve
You can't do
Levine.
that.
Well, Steve Levine, who has investigated Epstein immensely, he's written a book about it called The Spider. He said that Andrew's afraid to step foot in the United States because he's afraid that authorities will grab him and want to interview him about this. But where else could he go? And also, I don't think that they would strip them of the York titles because that requires an act of parliament. And then now there's all the headlines surrounding this event.
Yeah, and the problem is the royal family now should say, because they are a distraction. And this is the problem. We know we're going to be talking about Harry. He's a distraction. So it's the same thing. So what they don't, even at their private functions, we don't need to see him, because when he walks around at these functions, he's back to his old sort of peacock preening self. So, and that's the problem, because his sense of entitlement says, well, I don't think I've done anything wrong. And that's the problem. And William is just not happy with this. And you saw that. And you could see that William is thinking, how do I gracefully get away from here? But I don't know how he did. But for Andrew even to have the thought, but to do that. But unfortunately, Andrew's view of the world is oblivious to, the optics and the problems that he's causing. And he has caused huge problems for the royal family, because they're short on members. And if he had any sense and had led a more, sensible life and chosen his friends more wisely, then the royal family would be able to have him. Look what Prince Edward's doing. He's been in Japan with his wife, going to sumo wrestling and doing a good job. And hearing sort of nice stories about Lady Louise, who's studying international affairs up at St Andrews University. So that's what they're missing. Prince Edward and his wife, the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, getting on with it. And William is probably feeling the burden, because what have I got around me? I've got nobody. I've got a guy who's disgraced, and everyone's much older, and I've got no support at my level. And that's part of the burden for him, and why he probably does look a bit stressed and strained, because you think, what are we going to do in 10 years' time when, I don't know whether my father will be alive. The Princess Royal, she's in her 70s. He's got a lot on his plate. And, he also can't rely on the...
Am I wrong in the fact that between August and September, Wasn't there a recent poll about the popularity of the royal family, and it was at a historic low, especially among young people? I mean, if you're talking 10 years from now,
Yeah.
are these some of the thoughts that Prince William is thinking about?
Absolutely, because this image is not good. Now, you can't blame the king. He's trying to get on with it. But what we did see, and this is what needs to be happening, is last week with Trump's visit, it is the vital role of the royal family was that we were able to do that soft power, bells and whistles state visit for the royal family provided by the royal family. That's what drew Trump to this country, not our politicians. He wanted to go down in a great big procession, an amazing. I don't know how many guests there were at the lunch dinner, but there were. It may have, I don't know, enormous number. And he loved all that, because he was center stage. But it's because of the royal family, and that's the importance of the royal family to this country. Trump wouldn't have stepped anywhere near this place but for the royal family. Absolutely sure, and made to feel that, look, I've got my second state visit, and I'm the big kahuna here, right? But the royal family. So William has this problem. How do I make sure that we are fit for purpose, say in 10 years' time, that actually can engage with the British public? So he does. It is a serious time for him of contemplation and reflection, and he needs advice because
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that. But he doesn't need to be seen standing next to Prince Andrew, who is heaping problems on the royal family.
Mm-hmm. I just can't. I see a lot of negative headlines lately surrounding Prince William, and I think that they're incredibly unfair. And we'll get into this, and maybe we skip right over and do this next and give a beat to the Meghan Markle story. But I do believe the Telegraph's reports and Rebecca English's report. I believe Rebecca English says this. I know that the Telegraph does, that there is a feeling that a lot of like Tina Brown's report, suggesting that William's not doing enough work, that there's a feeling that Prince Harry's team are it's like gasoline on an open flame. Prince Harry's team is really encouraging some of these reports by leaking to the Daily Mail that, you know what? I wasn't there to compete with my brother in the UK. I was there to show him what an asset I could be, how I could help him and take some of those responsibilities off of his plate.
I'm afraid that I agree with you entirely on that, and everyone else, because that's what he's trying to prove. But it's being rebutted, so we're hearing from the palace side, that he can't be half in and half out, backing up what the Queen said. And that's it. He can rebuild his relationship with his father, but that he comes over, does his thing, goes we talked about it before on this program, does his thing. But we thought, right, and I said, I think last week, just shut up, right? Go and do your visit, see your father. But now we've had this schmaltzy, syrupy version of what was supposed to have happened, that they were in tears and it was hugs all round and all this. And you go, well, there's only one place that's come from,
Right.
you
Very
know?
sympathetic towards the Sussexes, Us
Yeah.
Weekly, and Page Six, talking about how Harry came prepared with plenty of photos and videos of the kids to show his dad.
Well, but that's, you'd expect to do that. Just open up your mobile phone. Everyone's got them on their mobile phone, haven't
Yeah.
they? I mean, that's the way it works. So plenty. I'll just look at this one, Dad. Look at this one. Well, did he get a front view of the children? Because we certainly don't. Was he allowed to see their faces? I'm not saying that we should necessarily,
Yeah.
but the point is, I do think that they have made the Harry team and the PR team have definitely tried to say, look how good we were when we came over and how good we were in Ukraine. And that was the message that they were wanting to put out. Now, he may have been very good at these various things, and he is good at it, and he was good at it. But it is the big but. There is still no way back for him because he's still operating at a commercial level outside the royal family. And that is not the way the royal family can operate in this modern era.
And it
Members
does.
of the
Oh, go ahead.
you want to just say members of the royal family tried it, including the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh. Look what the Yorks tried it, and it absolutely disastrous. Peter Phillips tried it, Um, well, then you can say, what about Zara and Mike? Well, they've just gone off, done their thing, do it differently.
Yeah.
But others got themselves into hot water. But Harry, he can't. He went away to make his millions. Unfortunately, those millions aren't transpiring, and he hasn't got enough to do. So he thinks
You,
I'll go
but
back to my old gig.
do you not look at the Colombia and Nigeria trips and what we saw in the UK last week as him saying, I don't care what you say as far as half in, half out. I just am worried about what it looks like. And when I pull up in Nigeria and get the red carpet, or even Jamaica for the Bob Marley premiere, and I'm photographed with government officials, I look like a prince. It looks like a royal tour and a royal visit, and that's all I need to push my commercial ventures in the United States.
Yeah, he's trying to prove that he's still got some credibility as a royal rock star and his name to monetize his name. And that's what I find so distasteful because we know that without the connection to the royal family, they are a commercial, they're just another couple out hawking a living.
Mm-hmm.
But without the Duke and Duchess of title and the sort of notoriety of the last few years, that's what they've got. They're basically selling themselves on notoriety.
Which
But
is again,
that's
we've talked about several times now, Andrew and Fergie. And if you think about, I feel like Harry and Meghan have already found themselves in some questionable scenarios since stepping down as members of the British royal family. Meghan promoting in the New York Times, the purse company that we later found out these women were in a foreign company or country making these $400 handbags, and they were making like 50 cents an hour or something ungodly in this foreign country to create these handbags. There was some scandal around the coffee Meghan has promoted. So we are seeing firsthand in real time why the half in, half out structure just simply does not work for the royal family, because your actions have consequences and they will reflect poorly on the royal family if you don't do your due diligence.
Yeah, and he wants his cake and eating it, basically. And I'm sorry, because he hasn't got the I don't know, he was brought up basically to go and do this. He has no concept of being able to do something else. And as we've seen, he's even got into hot water in some of the charities he's been running.
Hey guys, I want to share a brand that I love, Peak. Peak has taken a modern science-based approach to wellness, creating tea crystals and superfood blends made with exceptionally clean ingredients. Their products are all about making daily health habits easier and more effective, whether that's supporting digestion, glowing skin, steady energy, or just feeling your best. Personally, hydration was always a struggle for me. I drank plenty of water, experimented with electrolytes, and even stuck to the right skincare routine. Yet, I still dealt with dry skin, brain fog, and restless nights. That shifted when I started Peak's deep hydration protocol. In the morning, I use BT Fountain, their beauty electrolyte. It helps hydrate from within, smooth skin, and gives me lasting energy. In the evening, I switched to RE Fountain, the calming electrolyte, which contains a gentle form of magnesium that eases tension and helps me get deep, restful sleep without feeling groggy the next day. What sets it apart for me is the purity. No sugar, no fillers, no artificial flavors, just real ingredients like lemon juice and beetroot. Within a week, I noticed my skin looking more plump and hydrated. My focus was sharp. My overall energy had improved. If you want to give it a try, I've got a special link for you in the show notes. It's 20% off for life, plus a free gift with my link, peaklife.com/Kinsey. That's PIQUE life.com/Kinsey. How do you think the royal family would have handled Senabale differently? And B, do you think the royal family would still allow him to be attached to African Parks charity based on the fact that Sherry Blair did an independent investigation and found that there were faults within that charity, and the charity refuses to allow us to know specifically what went on. We know the accusations are assault on women, and physical violence. And one woman says that they trampled her. Some of these guards trampled her and she lost her children. I mean, the allegations go on and on. I feel like the royal family would have said, we're disassociating ourselves immediately. Harry stays silent. And with Senabale, I feel like the royal family would have had enough muscle to make that problem go away.
They would have smoothed it over. But it all came about because of Meghan.
Yeah.
One of the reasons. That's why it came about, wasn't it? Because she, was not happy with the way the chairman conducted herself with her and all that. So it's the Meghan problem. Meghan creates the problems for the royal family. And this is the difficulty. So, but he has got to realize, and of course he may want to repair his relationship with his father. He has every right to do that. But what he mustn't do, and I got really, when I was starting reading all these sort of things coming out from it, he did exactly the opposite of what he should have done. And so again, the royal family just go back, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
He even comes for a 57-minute meeting. We now know that, it was supposed to, my father's practically said, I can do what I like. Well, now we're coming out that, no, you can't, mate. You've got to do as you're told. And yes, you come and see me as much as you like, but he ain't doing it on royal terms. Security's not an issue. Because if he goes and stays, as I say, anywhere, anyone, one of the royal residences is, I've got so much security that he'll be perfectly safe. And so it's all smoke and mirrors with Harry, all smoke and mirrors. And it's very irritating. And I feel sorry for the king. I feel sorry for William. No wonder he looks browbeaten. But it's been good that we've been seeing the Princess of Wales out and about doing her thing, looking out there. It's not easy. You've got to dress up in some, I don't know, well, the frocks, I don't know.
Well, you know that everybody's going to comment on your physical appearance, which is why I didn't mind that Trump was so enchanted with her, and why I didn't mind that he was so uplifting about her physical appearance, because I know that she has to deal with that commentary constantly, and at least this was positive.
Oh, it was very positive. Look, I mean, he described her as beautiful, and then some people saying, well, can you describe her?
So radiant and so healthy. He said it was an honor to see her so radiant and so healthy.
Which actually is all we want to know.
Yeah.
That she is now, seems happy, seems in a good place of mind. And, people say that when they meet Trump, he is good company, and that he is engaging. So whatever you may think of his politics or whatever, on the sort of personal one-to-one level, he can be good company. Clearly, the king finds him good company.
I mean, no matter what you think of the guy, it was a positive visit because the UK got exactly what they wanted from him, except I feel like steel was not. I don't think they got the steel deal that they were trying to get. But otherwise, Trump came. They did they made a huge tech deal, an AI deal, a data center, bringing a lot of jobs and a lot of money to the UK. And it's like you said earlier, that quite simply would not have happened without the help of the British royal family and the glitz and the glamour and the ego stroking that they gave to President Trump.
Yeah, and Prince William was part of that because he gets on well with him. So I think we have to say that that's the good side. But Harry, you're coming over, doing his thing, just rocking the boat again, but actually becoming the center, the story, just like Andrew's been the story. So we can't actually concentrate on what the royal family are trying to do, because we get these two outsiders now, because of their own choosing, by their actions, creates the negative effect, which then means to the British public going, we've got more problems to worry about. Can't this family sort themselves out? That may be the perception, and the king, anyway, he's as I say, he's still battling whatever it's got, whatever he is. But he's still having treatment. And then Queen Camilla, she's ended up with sinusitis last week, so she couldn't turn up to an engagement the day
Which,
before
by the
Trump.
way, I had that recently, and it is a
Oh,
nightmare, Rupert. Like I saw a lot of criticism about her, not going
mhm.
to the Duchess of Kent's funeral. I do not believe that that was there was any disrespect there whatsoever. I recently had sinusitis, and it was a nightmare. And think about how she had to be on for this state
Yeah.
visit. I actually have some sympathy for her here.
No, absolutely. I know it's not much fun when you get suddenly everything up there is blocked and it's painful and
Yeah.
you really headaches everything. So I mean, I've got sympathy. And then she rocks up and there she's there. Now, how was she 100% recovered? I don't know, but she got on with it and
Right.
is a real trooper. Overall, you have to say, last week went well, but again, we all we're hearing about is half in, half out headlines, and then we're compounded by the Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, further scandals in what has always been a life mired in various scandals along the way. So it's not been the greatest week from that perspective. So I'm sure the palace, sort of communications team and everyone are going, oh goodness me, when's
We
this
need a
going to
drink.
settle down?
We need
We
a
need
drink.
we need a very large gin and tonic or something just to settle down and go and just reflect.
True or false? Incognito mode makes you invisible on the internet. The answer is actually false. Most people have no idea, but your browsing history can be monitored and even recorded unless you use today's sponsor, ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN reroutes your internet traffic through a secure encrypted tunnel, protecting your data from hackers, advertisers, and even your internet service provider. Depending on where you live, ISPs can actually be required to log your activity or, even worse, legally sell your browsing history. ExpressVPN makes sure that doesn't happen. It also lets you change your online location so you can access geo-locked content on streaming platforms like Netflix, Disney Plus, and BBC iPlayer. With servers in over 100 countries, you can unlock thousands of new shows and movies from around the globe. Setup is simple, just one click to connect, and it works across all your devices, phones, tablets, laptops, even smart TVs. Speeds are blazing fast, so you can stream HD with zero buffering. I've used ExpressVPN while traveling, and it gave me real peace of mind. Protect your online privacy today by visiting expressvpn.com/Kinsey to get up to 4 extra months free. That's expressvpn.com/Kinsey.
But
I clashed with Matt from The Sun a little bit because he does not believe that Harry wants to be back in the UK. And I understand that Harry has a much more comfortable lifestyle here, smoking a bowl and surfing. Like, obviously that there's a lot less pressure on him here. However, Tom Sykes of the Daily Beast reported over the weekend that Harry has signed up Archie for Eton. Initially, when Tom contacted the Sussex team to ask for comment, they kind of blew him off. But once he published the story, they came back and told him, no, 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 Harry's really happy with his family in California. I actually believe that Harry would want Archie to go to Eton. It is probably the safest school in the world for Archie to go. Archie would be there with his cousin, so that security is going to exist. Other high profile, public figures, children go to Eton. It is one of the most celebrated schools in the UK, and especially if you have high ambitions. So I'm leaning towards, and then Joss Stone, one of Harry's old friends, said that she saw him at the Child Awards, and that Harry asked her about moving back from the United States to the UK and what that experience was like, saying that he loved the schools in the UK. And I don't want to be depressing here, but are Archie and Lily going to have security guards standing outside their schools for the next 18 years? American schools are not as safe as UK schools, period. I mean, there's no debate there, in my opinion. No debate. UK schools are much safer because we have unfortunate situations at our schools with,
Oh.
I don't even want to say it.
Well,
But
you seem to have it on a regular basis. We don't seem to every week there seems to be something. I'm not sure the Duchess of Sussex would allow it, would she? You know,
well, what somebody said that she would consider sending their children off barbaric, which I agree with. But I've also seen a nanny ad that she put out there. So like I also know that like she doesn't mind someone else helping her with her kids.
well,
Um,
we know unless I've got it from cool. I mean, they go to the Kevin Costner thing. Who was looking after the children then? Well, we
yeah,
didn't see
yeah.
them. They weren't there. Someone was minding the children. Of course, they've got. You know,
They've got plenty of help.
they got plenty of help, and we know that that happens. Rich families. I mean, I know rich families who have nannies 7 days a week, employ two nannies at a lot of money. They don't come cheap, a properly trained nanny, and I'm sure, they will be having that so that Meghan and Harry can do their bit of parenting, but go swan off onto stage to go see Kevin Costner or whatever it was at the weekend. I just think that I can't see it happening
Okay.
because it's. I mean, I know people. When I went to school, I was sent away.
Because
And
you're a
you might.
heathen, but that's fine.
Yeah, well, it wasn't my choice, but then I sent my children away. So they're all right. They spat out all right in the end. It won't kill them. Schools have improved, but when you're living in California, part of being a parent is you see them. Now, when I went to school and where the Conkers store, back to Conkers, I mean, if I saw you'd go to school, I was allowed to see my parents on one Sunday, 2 Sundays a term, and we'd have a half term. And that would it. So that would be over say, a 12-week period.
Wow.
Okay. You look absolutely horrified.
I
But then we are.
homeschooled, so I was always around
Uh,
my parents. So I'm like,
okay.
wow.
Okay. Well, anyway, I'm not sure I did much schooling, whether it was at home or anyway, whatever. But that's what happened to me from what we call prep school. But back in the day, it's very different now. I mean, now parents turn up every weekend, watch every sport, and it's very involved. I don't remember my parents ever coming to see me play a game of sport. Now, I'm not giving you a woe is me about my childhood here,
Yeah,
Kinsey,
it's
but that was
okay.
of it. It's of its time.
I've
It's
got a
what
hug.
happened.
I got a hug with your name on it. Don't worry, Rupert. You
Okay,
can
fine,
cry
but
right here. You can cry
yeah,
right
no,
here.
sorry, but this is not Rupert's annual weekly therapy session with Kinsey Schofield. But it was of its time. When my children were going to school, yes, you went to see them. You were much more involved. They'd come out whenever you wanted them, more or less. So the whole environment has changed. So that will mean that if he does go to Eton and they're still living in California, what happens?
I mean, I
Who
will tell
looks?
you that when I got a little private tour of where they used to live, over the summer, and I
Which one in Windsor
yes,
or all
and I
right?
thought to myself, I cannot believe you would turn away this life. It is so enchanting. It's green. There's
You mean you went
horses
to
everywhere. It
Frogmore Cottage?
Yes,
You went to
it was so they actually built higher hedges for privacy. There weren't those high hedges before they moved in. That was one of the changes they made. But the home itself was incredibly private. The surrounding areas so peaceful. You don't have a neighbor for miles. There are horses roaming around everywhere that are gorgeous. And I just thought, why would you give this up? Why would you abandon this lifestyle? If Meghan, I mean, to me, I really feel like it was insecurity. She felt rejected by the family. She knew that they didn't like her. She knew she was never going to be the boss because Prince William was constantly going to be like, actually, no, we don't treat people that way. You need to reevaluate your behavior. And I think she wants to be famous and she wants to be on TV and she enjoys walking down red carpets. And the royal family doesn't offer her that life. I mean, they offer her a different level of acknowledgement. But she wasn't going to get the all of the cute headlines and the people running, chasing her, wanting to take her picture and selfies and all. I think that that's what she wanted. But when we're talking about like safety for Harry's children, and again, this is the only reason why I believe the Eton story. Yeah, you'd be completely left alone in Windsor. Your children would be safe at school. We've never seen a picture of those children at school, and I'm saying that because I'm grateful to the paparazzi for leaving that family alone. And she would just be left alone to do whatever she wanted to do. I mean, she could run as ever from Windsor. You know what I mean? Like
the problem was she probably gnawed away at Harry and said, you know, why are we doing this? And basically saying, we don't get paid for this. I need to be paid, right? And I'm not being paid. I'm not happy. I'm the supporting actress here. And she wanted not to be the supporting actress. Well, unfortunately, she married into with the character who is a supporting actor in his own right.
right.
So, you know, you're never going to get the best actor role and win the best actress Oscar, you know, for the royal family. That's just not happening for her. And so I think she probably gnawed away at Harry and said, well, I don't like this. And so eventually he probably just said, right, why don't you go and do our own thing? Well, let's go and do our own thing in California. I can see that actually just went, no, 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 no. And he eventually went, okay, let's go. And then he became, and off he went. And, you know, now obviously we get the interviews. Does anyone ever ask me what I think and all that baloney?
No one ever asked me how I am, girl.
Well, well, I'm
So
sure they
first of all,
did.
you're not very approachable.
Well, and the thing is, they had mental health people on speed dial.
Mm-hmm.
If Harry supported his wife, he could have said, well, let's go and chat to X, Y, and Z. I've got every top mental health, probably advisor person, because that's what we have been doing with our charity.
Heads together.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I have no sympathy, but the schooling, I can't see it happening. Now, what you have to do with a school like Eton is not probably the members of the royal family. If they want to get in, they can. But you do have to put your name down a long time in advance.
Yeah, I read
And
that
somewhere
like the second the child is born, you're supposed to
oh,
contact Eton and go, can I get on the list?
well, no, it's not. That's not. You probably now things are slightly changing because the fees are getting absolutely mind-boggling. You know, to send one of your little darlings to a school like this, you need plenty of moolah. So I have to say, I can see why you go to Eton, but then haven't we got the Prince and Princess of Wales are sort of umming and ahhing as to what they do with George?
I have
Because
heard that George is heading towards Eton, yes. But I
well,
mean, that's just the rumor mill. But my sources are pretty good.
well, if he's going to Eton, it's not rocket science
Yeah.
because Dad went there, and in a lot of these cases, I let my father down. More problems again here because I was supposed to get to Eton, but I was so thick I couldn't get in.
Oh,
I failed.
Rupert.
I failed my common entrance.
You had too many conkers over the head, Rupert.
Well, I think that probably was it. It was all down to the conkers. Anyway, so I get my father went to Eton, and I think generations before that. So I let the family down. But he could easily. It would make perfect sense logistically, and for the Princess of Wales talking about being able to see your son play sport. Well, she can go whenever she likes. It'd be easy, and it can be down the road, moving from their new house, go up and see them, and it would be a piece of cake. I mean, there would be the options of Marlborough. That I had heard talk of the school I went to, which was a school called Stowe near Buckingham, which the advantage of that, and talking of security, it's in an old stately home. You could make it secure because it's a campus, I suppose you would say, in American terms. But I think you're probably right. Your sources are probably right. Eton does seem the logical solution. But what do they do about their daughter?
Well,
They're in the,
Eaton has taken girls in the past. Would they make
well,
a
no, no.
special?
I think no, it'd be tough on her. I remember my
I would
school.
love it, just for the
Well,
record.
no,
I'd
well, no,
love
no.
being the only
Okay.
girl of the boys' school.
Hello. My school did change from being all boys and included. Then suddenly we got five girls amongst 600 boys.
Oh my, that is
I mean, they
literally my
were.
dream, Rupert. That's
Well, I
literally
tell you
my
what, I
dream.
don't know what. A fair play to those the first five back in the mid 70s. Now it's a school that's sort of one third, two thirds, and it's perfectly so. Stowe would be a school that might work in terms of the security for Charlotte. But we're going off piste here a bit. But it comes back to from California. No way is Meghan going to allow that. She'd have to move back to England, and she is the last thing she wants to do.
It's interesting because I really do think she hates it, but she hijacks so much of the culture through her brand.
Well,
You know,
yeah.
she hates it, and then she talks about how she misses a London radio station, and and then she tries to sell tea and she tries to sell biscuits, and you're like, if you hate it so much, then why not do your own thing?
Well, and Magic FM is the one.
Yeah.
Well, it's not. It's incredibly bland, sort of soft, it's
I would
music.
expect nothing less from
Yeah,
Meghan Markle.
but very popular. Not knocking it. Lots of people love it.
Oh.
But for me, um, well, I'm not the target market again for Magic FM. It's a bit like we have a few over here. It'd be the same.
Rupert, what do you listen to?
Well, I'm really sad about the guy from Supertramp died the other day. So I've been listening to a lot of Supertramp. You
Okay.
know, Breakfast in America was the passport of sort of, so really into that would be my era of
Yeah.
music. But I'm not too outrageous. I love
A lot
jazz
of
as
like
well.
Steppenwolf, like Magic Carpet Ride.
Well,
Are
what
you
we lost magic carpet, right? That sounds like we're on some Californian trip here. We're going down a sort of 60s flower power, LSD fueled 60s time here, but
That
no,
is, you're
maybe
right.
not.
I apologize. That is too
Yeah,
much Prince Harry. That's on Prince Harry's playlist
yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. Before I let you go, let's run down this latest headline about how Meghan Markle's former bestie, Jessica Mulroney, could be talking to a publisher about writing a tell-all. Now, Jessica actually reacted to this story and told the Daily Mail wait, what did I want to give you the exact, absolutely not. She told the Daily Mail when asked if an autobiography was in the works. But I feel like if I wanted, sometimes you're contractually obligated to keep this a secret. And sometimes you don't want to say too much because you are still in negotiations. Absolutely not. No, because you're still trying to negotiate the deal. So I think that if Jessica Mulroney was really looking for a quick buck, the spare Prince Harry route seems like a no-brainer to me. She recently got divorced from her husband, Ben Mulroney, and are separated. I don't know if they're officially divorced yet. And she's got a lot of dirt on Meghan Markle. I mean, this would change her life.
Well, it'd be interesting if she does and decide to, but it depends whether she says, is it worth the fuss? Is it worth it? Is she still basically feeling right? It all went wrong. Is she saying, I don't want to do it? I don't want to cash in? Some people don't want to cash in. I don't know
Yeah,
her.
their names are Priscilla Presley, who's got a new book coming out sharing other people's secrets. Priscilla, I'm watching you,
Yeah,
Priscilla Presley. Let's read some of the quotes. Okay, so Daily
yeah.
Mail says over the past week, rumors surfaced in the U.S. that Miss Mulroney may be planning a tell-all book with her former best friend about her former best friend. I'm sorry, with an advance of more than 1 million apparently being dangled by the publishers. She was upset their friendship ended, says a source. Jessica knows where the bodies are buried. Meghan will be worried, an insider told the Daily Mail. This is also a Radar Online story, with Radar reporting Meghan Markle is said to be quaking in her boots at the prospect that her former best friend Jessica Mulroney could publish a tell-all memoir detailing the collapse of their once close friendship. Meghan is very aware that Jessica has stayed silent all this time, but the idea of her speaking out now is frightening. She's worried about what Jessica could disclose about the friendship and its collapse. Also, like, does Jessica know if Meghan Markle really Googled Prince Harry? Like, my because the answer is yes, in my opinion. So when Meghan posted that picture of Harry with the crazy hair on his birthday and like the like hot emoji film, you know what my instinct told me? It was that that's the picture Meghan Markle sent around to her girlfriends when she started dating Prince Harry because she was a Googling him. Okay, Rupert, that is
Yeah.
my personal opinion that she started Googling because it's around the time they start dating, but not it's after they start dating. I think she saw that picture of him when she was Googling him, saved it, and that's the one she shared with all of her friends. There are certain things I'd love to know from Jessica Mulroney. What happened with Princess Catherine? Because Jessica Mulroney, is allegedly involved in that fight with Princess Catherine about the bridesmaid dresses. I'd like to know what happened to Meghan Markle's dog in Canada, because Meghan Markle left one of her rescue dogs in Canada when she moved in with Prince Harry and or moved to the UK to be with Prince Harry. I'd like to know if what Meghan Markle knew about Prince Harry before they started dating and if she pursued him. Um, and that's those are the details I'd want if she were to write a book.
And also, we might hear about, obviously we've heard bullying allegations that she has that, and maybe there are elements that she might reveal on that. I think it's a personal choice for her. I don't necessarily believe all the quotes you've just read out there. I mean, you know that it would sell well. I think it would probably sell well in this country. Well, not in this country because I'm in America, but in the UK. So it would be interesting to see. Meghan wouldn't be pleased because if
No.
they have seriously fallen out, then she's not going to be feeling inclined to hold back. But it's perfectly normal for Meghan to lose her friends.
Right. Well, also, I think Meghan would be nervous because Meghan's constantly changing her backstory. Meghan's
Oh,
constantly changing, trying to rewrite history, whether she writes on Instagram about how her daddy took her to this expensive deli in Beverly Hills after a very expensive ballet class, and that's why she loves her daddy or loved her daddy. And then she's trying to tell us while campaigning for Senate to give mothers longer time off after
yeah.
they give birth that she ate at the 4.99 salad bar at Sizzler. And it's like, wait, which one is it? Okay.
Well, no, well, this is and speak your truth. Isn't that what Harry said the other day?
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yes.
must speak your truth. Well, start with your wife,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
and then we can kick on from there. And this is the problem. So I'll be intrigued, very definitely, if Jessica feels that it is worth doing. The Prince Harry felt it was worth doing to dish the dirt on his family, and I wonder if he has.
Similar to Prince Andrew. You know how
Mm,
you said earlier that Prince Andrew's just oblivious and Prince Andrew
yeah,
doesn't realize the devastation or destruction he's caused? Harry is in the same camp because he just told the Guardian that his conscience is clear and he doesn't feel like he aired his dirty laundry. But you know the reason why I think Jessica Mulroney might not do this is because she is a celebrity stylist. And if you gab and you prove yourself untrustworthy, which is what she would be doing if she talked about Meghan Markle in this book, it will jeopardize her relationship with other A-listers. And the perfect example of that is Harry and Meghan, who had George Clooney on their side, who had Oprah Winfrey and a lot, some of these other people
yeah.
on their side, openly defending them, publicly defending them. And all those people have gone quiet since Spare and the Netflix docuseries. And I think it's because you don't defend people that air their dirty laundry in public.
And if you are going to be a celebrity stylist, discretion is absolutely the key word and your byword to be successful. Because celebrities, they do not want anything coming out because we live in this very controlled PR environment. And I would suggest, I mean, I don't think she'll do it, but I suppose deep down we'd quite like to read it, wouldn't we?
We absolutely would. Also, I said this earlier, but if somebody missed me on Kevin O'Sullivan, I have a tinfoil hat conspiracy that if you just read Tom Bower's book Revenge and note that Jessica Mulroney is suspiciously in a lot of those rooms where you have inside details and anonymous sources. Okay.
Right. Okay. Well, I think you probably said enough there. I think we can work that out. By by your, yes, we don't, well, I can work it out. Harry and Andrew probably couldn't work it out because that's
because of the
yeah.
conkers, because of the conkers. Okay.
Well, the conkers, and there's a bit of a gap between the ears, but but enough of that. Anyway,
Yeah.
there we go.
All right. Well, agree with us, disagree with us. Let us know in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. And pray for old Rupert. He's on the mean streets of New York right now. We got to make sure that he's safe while he's over on the East Coast.
Well, when I talk to you next week, hopefully Europe would have won the Ryder Cup. But I just will want to mention as we end here, and I flew over. I told you this story. I'm sitting down in my seat, and then this lady comes up to me. She goes, "Are you Rupert Bell? I've just watched you on Heirs and Spares. I love the program, and I'm sorry I never got her name. But if you have managed to watch this whole episode, and you've got to the fact that I've mentioned meeting you on the plane, please send me your name, and I'll mention it next time if I manage to look through the comments." But
that is Rupert's fan club. I love that Rupert
they
has
loved
a
you
fan
too,
club.
kids. It wasn't just about me. Well, okay, most of it was. But anyway, so sorry, but no, she was very polite about the program, so for which I thanked her profusely, and I was suitably surprised as she knocked on me on my seat in the aeroplane and went, "Hello, you Rupert Bell," and I thought, well, there we go. The power of Heirs and Spares.
That is the cutest story. Thanks so much for sharing it. And yes, if you said hi to Rupert on an airplane, make sure you leave your name so that we can give you a shout out on one of the future programs. Rupert, pleasure to see you. I'll see you again next week.
I'll be talking to you from Boston next week.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. I can't wait. You're going to have to give me a tour. We won't air it.
I will be in my sister-in-law's house, who I know does watch this program.
I know. I want the tour. Okay. All right. Bye, guys.